The San Antonio Spurs go into their first round series against the LA Clippers as underdogs in name alone. These are the defending champs that we're talking about, a group that won 21 of its last 25 games to end the regular season. As underdogs go, they're pretty darn dangerous, but the reality is the Spurs did lose home court advantage on the last night of the regular season. They lost to New Orleans, could have been the number 2 seed in the West. Instead, they were number 6. Thus, the question of whether or not that disadvantage is enough to knock the Spurs out of the playoffs as early as the first round. I'm certainly not about to predict that. Learned a long time ago not to bet against this group. Should be a great series. Obviously, San Antonio is capable of pulling off this upset. I don't expect any major upsets in the first round in the East, but I do think that 4-5 matchup between Toronto and Washington should be good stuff, likely goes 7 games, and could absolutely go the way of the lower seeded Wizards. First of all, they are the superior defensive team. We know that comes in handy in the playoffs. They had the 8th best defensive rating in the NBA this season. At times they struggle on the offensive end. Now the Raptors, they have the opposite problem. They're the superior offensive team, struggle at times defensively. I think that contrast makes this compelling. Now specifically, keep your eyes on this backcourt battle. That should be a fun one. John Wall and Bradley Beal on one side. They came into this season arguing that they were the best backcourt in the NBA. Now on the other side, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan probably have something to say about that claim, even in the context of this series. This one should be fun. Again, it's anybody's guess who's going to win it. I think it's probably safe to assume that the Dallas Mavericks are thrilled with their first round opponent, the Houston Rockets, if only because of the history between these two teams. Quite the rivalry has been growing here the last couple of years, going back to 2 summers ago when Dwight Howard picked Houston over Dallas and other teams. Then last summer, Chandler Parsons unexpectedly left the Rockets in restricted free agency, went to Dallas. Now off the court, you had Rockets GM Daryl Morey, Mavs owner Mark Cuban going at each other occasionally in the media. So many subplots. Now on the floor, I think the Mavs are going to be up against it. Again, they are capable of the upset, but the way that they've struggled to score the ball in the second half of the season with Rajon Rondo running the show, I think is a major concern for them in this series. Houston was one of the best defensive teams in the NBA this season. I think that's a huge edge for them.